basically what I'm saying is we've evolved into using our exhaust pipe kind of like a horn. Like, you know, when people honk their horn to avoid an accident. As riders, when did we start using our exhaust pipe as a horn to avoid an accident? You know what I mean? What the? What was that? Yeah, it is kind of clickbaity. You know what? I apologize. I'm sorry, not sorry. But I wanted to get your attention. This is something I've been wanting to talk about and see if I can get it out and make it sound somewhat halfway coherent, trying to explain my point of view. And hey, you don't have to agree with me. If you don't, it's not a big deal. If you do, great. But it's just something that I've observed, you know. So I don't like being one of these guys that like to toot my own horn and tell you what a bitchin' rider I am, because I'm not, you know. I like to consider myself a professional motorcycle rider. I rode street bikes professionally. I got, you know, by definition, I got paid to ride motorcycles for almost 13 years. Get off your phone, lady. And, you know, before that I rode street bikes, whatever. So, you know, I have some riding miles under my belt, and I've seen a lot of situations and different things. And there's one thing lately that I've noticed that I really never really noticed, you know, before, up until just like the past maybe, you know, 3, 4, 5 years now. But I see it more and more. So now it's getting to the point where, man, maybe I should say something and you guys tell me what you think. So, oh, that dude just, oh, did you see that, dude? That Jeep just crashed, that white Benz. This gray Jeep right here just hit the center divider, and the white car looked like he might have tried to turn into him. Dang, that sucks. Well, she looked at me and she didn't look like she was hurt. Alright, hang on, I'll call it in. Hang on a sec. Alright, I'm back with you. Look at this guy. Look at this guy with the rebar down there. You see it? Watch that, dude. One of my buddies hit that once. No bueno. At least he moved over. Thanks, pal. Alright, it was already, by the time I called it in, it was already called in. So anyway, alright. Where was I? Alright, so say you're splitting traffic like I am, in a state where it's legal to do so, 100% accepted, state of California, we can do what I'm doing right here. Lane filtering, lane splitting, whatever you want to call it, splitting in between traffic here. 100% legal in the state of California. If you don't like it, that's too bad. If you don't think it's safe, that's too bad. I don't care. I think it's not safe to sit in traffic and wait for somebody to frickin' rear end you. That's what I think. But we're not talking about opinions. We're talking about what we can and cannot do. And we can lane split in California. So if you find yourself in a state like California and you're lane splitting and inevitably someone's going to try and come over into you. When that happens, I'm noticing, like on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I'm noticing that guys will hit that rev limiter, man. They'll hit that Rev-Bomb at them, you know. And they may or may not have enough time to do that. I think in most cases, I'd say the vast majority of the cases where people do that, I think they Rev-Bomb them when they have time to do so. It's an attention getter. It just got this bus's attention. You know what I mean? It works. I'm not hating on revving. I'm not hating on Rev-Bombs or any of that. I kind of do hate on the rev limiter because it's not good for your bike, but I do it. We all do it, you know. So I'm not saying that I'm against it. I'm not. I just think that there's a time and a place for everything. And let me explain. Say you're riding along and, you know, this great SUV on the left wants to change lanes over to this number 2, right? He's actually going over to the left to let me in. But let's say he did. And let's say I'm like, okay, you didn't see me, so I'm going to rev it to kind of teach you a lesson, or to kind of make myself known to you, kind of make my presence known to you, so that maybe startle you a little bit, so that maybe in the future, you know, you'll at least look in your mirror and hopefully look over that right shoulder, because the mirror's not good enough. There's blind spots. So you look over your shoulder before you decide to come over. You know what I mean? Signal, look in the mirror, make sure there's room, look over your shoulder. That's what I'd like you to do, because then you'll see me, right? But no, you know, I mean, you know, I rev bomb and I wait for you to go, and then you go in, and then I throw my hands up at you. I'm like, what are you doing? You got to look. You got to pay attention, right? Whatever. We've all done it. I've done it. Or say you're riding down a street. I know I'm rambling. Just bear with me. Say you're going down a street and someone pulls out of a driveway in front of you. Or you're coming up on an intersection. Someone turned left in front of you. You know what I mean? and you're coming up on them, and you know, like I said, most of the time you have enough time to react, so before you go to those brakes, you're gonna go, you know, do that rev bomb, right? I get it, dude. I totally get it. And then you hit the brakes, or you take evasive action, or you swerve, or whatever. I get it. Watch. See, that's what I'm talking about. Instead of going to the brakes or moving around or whatever, I rev bombed her. Well, she darted back. What if she didn't? What if she kept coming over? You know what I mean? And then, you know, I felt, or I anticipated, or I saw her swing back, which kind of gave me the green light to kind of continue my rev bomb and kind of go around her in an angry way. But what if she didn't? What if she's listening to her music and she didn't hear the rev bomb and she came over on me anyway? And then I would have had to really slam on the brakes, because I would have probably been really close to that car that was in the number 1 lane there. See, that's the example I was trying to find. Thank you, lady, for participating in the video. So I'm not saying I hate it. I'm saying that there's a time and a place. When you do that, okay, when you have the luxury of time and space and distance to react, and you automatically go for that rev bomb before you go for your brakes, or maybe you do it simultaneously or almost simultaneous, whatever the situation is, when you do that, you're training yourself subconsciously, okay? Every time you do that, you're kind of reinforcing it to yourself, kind of on a subconscious level. Does this sound better, or does this sound worse with the visor down? I'm gonna leave it up this time. So it's called muscle memory, guys, and you've heard of muscle memory in different applications. Mostly people talk about muscle memory when it comes to shooting and stuff like that, and doing tactical reloads and speed reloads, and that, you know, that's where we hear it mostly in the profession that I'm in. But muscle memory applies to you know, almost anything where you do something in a repetitive way, and you get to the point where you don't think about it, where you automatically react to a situation that is spontaneously presented in front of you, okay? And a situation like riding a motorcycle when traffic is trying to kill you, in a spontaneous encounter with a 2,000-pound vehicle that's coming over into you, you want that muscle memory to take over. Now, if you've been hitting that rev limiter and revving it up before you hit the brakes, you know, even if it's slightly before you hit the brakes, if you've been doing that, your muscle memory may take over, and there might be a situation, I know it's rare, but there might be that one situation where you don't have the luxury of time. It's that oh crap moment. I had my oh crap moment on October 25th, 2012 was my oh crap moment. It was actually October 26th. It was 5 minutes after midnight. But you have that oh crap moment where you don't have the luxury of time to really think. You just go back to your muscle memory, okay? And you do that without even thinking about it. You might rev bomb and then hit the brakes. Instead of going immediately, your muscle memory immediately going to that sound solid emergency combination braking. You know what I'm talking about, that 80-85% front brake, you know, cover the rear brake with your left foot. You don't really even have to push it down. The momentum, the weight of the bike and slowing down, and the front of the bike dipping down, and your weight coming forward will automatically kind of push enough of that rear brake down for you, so that you don't lock it up. The goal is to not lose rolling friction with the ground, you know, with the surface. You want your wheels turning. So you want to apply just enough emergency combination braking with your front and rear wheels, vast majority of that being front wheels, and come to a stop without you know, locking it up and sliding and skidding. You know what I mean? And also when your wheels are turning and they're not locked up and skidding, let me tell you, it's a whole hell of a lot easier for you to maneuver. If you're in this number 2 lane and you got to jump over to that number 1 while combination braking, you can do that as long as your wheels are still turning. If that front wheel locks up, you're done. You're going to go about 6 to 12 feet before you cross it up and wash out that front end, and you're down. You know, rear wheel, you could skid a lot further, but you're not slowing down. You know, your rear wheel will skid. You can get all fishtail and like, you know, whatever, but you're going to slide right into whatever it is you're trying to avoid, because you've increased your stopping distance so much. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, folks. I'm just saying, look, when that oh crap moment happens, this ambulance changes lanes into me at the last absolute possible second, right? I have perception time to perceive that threat and process it through my little brain, right? And then I have reaction time to where I decide, okay, what am I going to do? My reaction time is grabbing that front brake, giving it a good squeeze with all four fingers on my right hand. All four fingers, good solid squeeze, 80, 85%, 90%, dude. Cover that rear. I always cover the rear brake in this situation anyway, so I'm already on the rear brake, so I don't even have to put it there. When I'm lane splitting, you can't see it, but I'm always covering the rear brake. Always, always. That's just what I do. My foot is right above the rear brake. The middle of my foot's on the peg, and then the ball of my foot that went right behind my toes is on that rear brake. So anyway, you got perception, reaction time, and then third and finally you have stopping distance. So if you have dry conditions, dry roadway surface, there's no gravel, there's no snow or rain or whatever, dirt, whatever distance it takes for that vehicle, your bike, to stop, that's what we're talking about. You only have a little bit of time, so do you really want what little time you have to be kind of chewed up by muscle memory revving the engine first and then going to your brakes? I don't think you do. I think muscle memory is very, 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 very important to a motorcyclist, and I don't think we talk about it enough. So just some food for thought, man, for you guys to think about. Train, you always hear this, train how you're going to fight, right? Well, also train how you're going to ride. So every time I go out and ride, man, like I said, I've been riding for a long time. Every time I go out and ride, it's a training ride for me. I'm trying to make myself a better motorcyclist. I'm trying to improve my skill set. I'm trying to keep the skills that I already have sharp, because it's a perishable skill, riding a motorcycle. Reading traffic, anticipating, it goes away if you don't ride for a long time. So, and if you don't practice sound, fundamental, good motorcycle riding skills, in training when you ride, then when you need those skills, when you need to dig deep in a fraction of a second and rely on those skills to get you out of a situation that presents itself spontaneously like that, I think you should train how you're going to fight, man. That's all. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, man, down below. Either way, I'm not looking for an argument. Whoa! I'm not looking for an argument, but just let me know what you think, man. But I have seen it a lot more, more and more lately. Now, I'm not saying I'm the perfect rider. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. You know what I mean, But just practice it, man. Practice how you're gonna ride, dude. I mean, this bike is an ABS bike. I can grab all brake, all front, all rear. It's not gonna lock up. It's got anti-lock brakes. Darkness, it's got ABS, baby. And let me tell you, ABS is awesome. BMW, man, that police BMW RT, that 1200R or whatever. What an amazing bike. The ABS on that bike is dialed. 2015, they made it even better. Just amazing ABS on that bike. But even though I have ABS, guess what? I still practice sound combination braking, emergency combination braking. I still practice it. I still do mostly, and I got linked braking. Matter of fact, this bike has linked braking. So if I jam on my rear brake, it's gonna automatically apply front brake for me. I don't even have to reach up and grab the front brake on this bike. It'll do it for me. I can sit here and just ride the rear brake all day long, never touch my front brake. The bike's computer's going to do the front brake for me. And if and the computer on this bike, it senses if the front wheel is going faster than the rear wheel. If I brought the front tire up, it'll say, hey, the front wheel is going faster than the rear. It'll cut power to the rear wheel and actually bring the front wheel down. No wheelies for Officer Rob. Isn't that crazy? But a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have ABS. A lot of people don't have, the linked braking. So, and I might find myself on a bike one day that doesn't have that. I want to still have the skills, and to know that I'll be okay if something were to happen, and I would, I have to go back into emergency combo braking without locking it up. But anyway, I know it's getting windy. I know the audio sucks, man. I'm gonna end it here. I appreciate you guys listening to my rant, my ramble. Let me know what you think. Sorry about the clickbait, but it's kind of somewhat true. You know, muscle memory, man. That rev bomb, you know, might kill you, might get you killed. You don't know. It might, man. I just want you guys to ride safe. I want you guys to ride smart. I like to call it being aggressively defensive. I want you to be an aggressively defensive rider or a defensively aggressive rider. It works both ways. But you know, read that traffic, man. Anticipate, dude. Look ahead. Get that big picture way ahead. See what's going on up there. Don't just look at the road in front of your bike, you know, 12 feet in front of you. You want to look way the hell out there, man. If you're riding in the middle of the night, you know, and there's a car, there's taillights way out in front of you, watch those taillights way out there, man. You see those taillights disappear, or you see them turn into headlights. Taillights, headlights, taillights, headlights. Well, guess what? Car up there is spinning out. You know what I mean? There's early warning cues, man, out there that could save you, man. It could save your ass. Seriously. I just want you guys to ride safe, man. Ride smart. Get home safely to your family, dude. You got people that love you and care about you that want you to get home. So, you know, set yourself up for success. You know what I mean? But yeah, think about that muscle memory. Think about, you know, is it helping me or is it hurting me? And having said all that, there is a time and a place for everything. And believe me, I rev bomb too. We all do. That's part of the fun of riding a motorcycle, man. I'll rev bomb this benzo right here. Oh no, she's. I thought she was on the phone. I'll find the next one on the phone. I'll rev bomb it for you before we let you go. Oh, she had her phone in her hand. Let's see. No, he's a good guy. He's a Boy Scout. We'll find one here in a sec. Now, while we're looking for my rev bomb victim, I'll wake them up and tell them to get off their phone. While we're looking, I'll end it here, man. I'll tell you guys, hey, always watch your six. Be a safe rider. And always be good humans. Be a good human, dude. BGS. I can't even say it. BGH. Nobody's on their phone, man. They're all being angels. Alright, I'll just do a rev bomb for the fun of it. Ah, you probably couldn't hear it because my visor's down. Ah! Alright, whatever, dude. You guys get my drift. You guys are picking up what I'm putting down. You're smelling what I'm stepping in. You guys are catching my drift. Oh, God. I hate the visor down, man. Hate it. Oh, here goes a good one. Yeah, she's on her phone. Ready? Ah, get off your phone. Alright, we'll talk to you guys later. Was that being a good human or not? I think it was. Maybe not. Alright, later. Ah, shit.